Hey guys, this is Pram bringing you round 9 of Virginia Regionals. On our left, we have one of the best players in the world, me, versus Steven Varesko, the undefeated of the tournament. So, as we see here, we have a mirror match. We have two Mossrai decks, so I'll going to try to get that spread around for any Hammer Time variants. But yeah, so I get to go first, and let's see how this game plays out. So I discard two Sableyes right away with Ultra Ball, and that's pretty huge because, you know, the way this matchup's going to come out is there's just going to be 3 EXs knocked out. So neither Steven or I are probably going to want to play a normal Pokemon. That's so the way the prize trade-off would work out would be like, hey, if I lose my Sableye, he's still at 5, so he still has to knock out 3 EXs, and I'm sure he's thinking the same. So I just Ultra Ball those away, get the Eviolite down, and then I Juniper the rest. I see I Juniper 2 random receivers, not a big deal. I might not Junk Hunt here. You know, there's no real point for Junk Hunt. There's only random receiver in my discard and an Ultra Ball. Not very useful, so I'll just probably use, Confuse Ray. There we go. And that 10 damage is pretty important. You know, with a Dark Claw, I'll be able to make that Night Spear damage really nice. But let's see what Steven can muster up versus the insurmountable odds of playing against me. So, here we go. He goes for the N, and he's really going to want a Sableye at this point. Gonna want to get those that Junk Hunt out. Maybe he want a Crushing Hammer. Things along those lines. You know, my start wasn't the greatest. I mean, like, sure, I got rid of a bunch of cards, but I don't really have that many darks in the discard, if any. And yeah, so that could be an issue. However, he does get a Sableye and an Energy Switch, so he will be able to get the Sableye on the field with the Junk Hunt, and he has an Energy Search, which is pretty important because that'll give him a second target for his Junk Hunt, and that's pretty good. You know, turn 1 Junk Hunt's probably the best turn 1 in the game right now. So, just being able to do that turn 1 is really good. So here we go. He has a Dark Claw in his hand. He's gonna hold that for later, but yep, gets the retreat off, unconfuses his Darkrai, which is annoying at best, and then Energy Switches. So here he's just gonna get his 2 cards back, and he'll be in good shape. Oh, he even gets rid of a Tool Scrapper. So he actually might just not. He might not get the Energy Search. He might just go for Energy Switch and Tool Scrapper. You know, just so he can maybe get rid of my, yep, there he goes. Gets rid of a Dark Claw if I choose to get one. So here comes a Crushing Hammer and Tails. Here comes another one and Heads. Alright, not too bad. 50-50. Still 50-50 for this game. Let's see if I dip lower than that. Probably. I'm actually pretty unlucky for flips. So, yeah, so I have a Energy Search here. And that's just going to go on the Darkrai. You know, you just want to power that up. I might be able to pull off a turn 2 Night Spear if I can get the right cards for it. You know, maybe an Ultra Ball or another Juniper would be good. However, it looks like my options here aren't very good. I might have to just, yep. So I'm just going to Junk Hunt here, getting that random receiver back. Yeah, my hand isn't very good. But luckily, Sableye is such a good fixer. It can you know, get you out of a lot of bad hands, and that's really the reason why I and a lot of other players opted to play Sableye or Darkrai that weekend. So yeah, that was pretty important. You know, just being able to go, hey, my hand's dead. Good thing I have a random receiver in the discard. I can still continue the game. Whereas a lot of other decks would just be like, oh, I guess I lose. So here we go. Let's see what Steven can muster. He does have a Computer Search. If he has, if he can get like 2 Dark Patches in, then he'd be in good shape. Or a Dark Patch and Energy Switch, and that'll be in good shape for him too. But it looks like, I'm not sure what we were talking about. I don't exactly remember. But he computer searches for a card, and that's going to be pretty big for the junk hunt. You can getting back computer search with junk hunt is really, really huge. Can't stress that enough. But he ends up getting a dark patch with it, so that's pretty big. He puts on a second Dark Claw onto his field. Now, I don't have the 10 damage on my side of the field, so it's not a big issue. The Dark Claw is not really doesn't really do anything, but I could get a 2-for-1 with Tool Scrapper, which would be nice. Anyways, he goes for the junk hunt and gets Dark Patch and Energy Switch, and that's pretty good for him. So it looks like I drew a Dark Patch, and that's pretty nice because I have an Ultra Ball and an Energy in my hand. So I'm gonna random receiver first just to see what I'm working with. You want to get rid of all the random chance cards out of the way first if you can. So I do end up revealing a Juniper with that, and that's a pretty, that's just gonna force all my cards to be played down. I really would have liked to use this Crushing Hammer. However, I am going to need the Darkrai, so there's nothing else I can really discard here. So I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and just say, hey, you get to keep your energy. So, yep, probably just gonna get a Sableye here. Yep. I just want to Juniper that away since I know I'm going to Juniper this turn. Might as well get the 4th Sableye out of the game and really just say, and that way, you just don't draw it later. It's so important. Darkrai is so efficient at thinning out the deck and making sure you can just get rid of all the cards you don't need. So it looks like I had a Dark Claw, and that's a good card to have because I didn't want to discard it because of the 10 damage on that Darkrai from earlier. So very important. So I do hit an energy. I will be able to get a turn 3 Night Spear. Not very exciting, but his board is about on par. This matchup, I wonder. It's weird because I don't know whether knocking out the Sableye first is correct or not. However, there's always the issue of catcher. So maybe it would have been better for me. It might be good for me to not attack. Not really sure, but we'll see how that works out for me on whatever I end up doing. So I do have another Ultra Ball here, getting rid of the Enhance Hammer and Darkness Energy. So I already knew that we were playing pretty much within 5 cards the same deck. So I know he doesn't run double colorless energies. So getting rid of that Enhance Hammer is no problem. Plus getting rid of the Dark Energy and getting the Darkrai out of the deck. Very nice because I also have a Dark Patch, so that'll let me power up another Darkrai. And yeah, we're in good shape here. So it looks like I am going for the Night Spear, and that'll let me take a prize, and more importantly, get that 30 damage on the Darkrai. That's pretty big, especially considering that one Darkrai has 40 damage on it. So now if I can maybe catcher it up and then hit it for 110, it'll go to 150, and then I'll be able to do some cute plays with Night Spear. But we'll see how this works out. He also does not have energy on the field. Also, getting rid of that energy was pretty big because now he's going to need he's going to need a Dark Patch and an Energy Switch. I already knew he had it, but it makes him burn it like this so he doesn't get the extra energy on the field. And let's see how he does here. So does he have a supporter? Yep, it's an N, and that gets rid. I had 2 Darkrai's in my hand. Got rid of it. But not a big deal, at this point, there's so much searching and deck thinning in this Darkrai deck that getting rid of, just redrawing them isn't a big issue, and then you'll eventually redraw it, so that's fine. And I'm going to get a new hand of 5, which is, the end was fine. So he's going to Night Spear my Darkrai eventually, and that'll do 110 to it, but it's basically the same as taking 90. However, being able to hit his Darkrai for 110 on my turn is going to be very big. he'll be able to knock out my Darkrai first. However, I'll be able to counter knockout and catcher up the bench Darkrai for and hit that for 90. So I'll be ahead in terms of Darkrai damage, and it's all because of that one Sableye turn. It's a very interesting way how that works out. This is one of the matchups that most people don't get to play that often. You don't really see these two decks that much. The format was so populated with Blastoise. Everyone was playing Blastoise. But funny enough, Blastoise was not really at any of the top tables at this event. Rather, it wasn't at the undefeated. It was always X1 at best, X2, X3. It was floating around there for a while. So that's how they kind of got into the top cut. But yep, back to this game. So I did get a Crushing Hammer heads on the active, forcing him to attach another energy to his active Darkrai, and this is big because it just limits his options. Kind of just saying, hey, keep your energy focused on guys who are going to be knocked out if you want to continue pressure. And yeah, I'm in pretty good shape here. He's gonna take 2 prizes, but that's fine as long as I have an energy card or an energy switch. I'll be in fine shape. So here we go. Let's see what I get and he gets. Yep, I got the energy switch and a catcher, so this is like really nice for me. He keeps redrawing that. Steven keeps redrawing that Enhance Hammer, so he might want to get rid of that with that Ultra Ball he has, but I don't know if he has another card he can discard. So yep, knocks out my Darkrai, takes 2 more prizes, but that's fine. I have another Darkrai here, or I have another Darkrai ready to go. I have a catcher, and I'm pretty set. Just got to catcher up that Darkrai and just go from there. And at this point, it's interesting what Darkrai I hit. Do I go for the one with the Eviolite or the Dark Claw? I would have to hit the Tool Scrapper to hit the Eviolite one to really get an advantage after the Eviolite one. But so I think the Eviolite one might be the best one, just because I want to get the 90 on it now, and then maybe I'll or wait, no, I don't have a Dark Claw. Okay, this is interesting. So I guess what I'm going here is I'm just gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna do 90 or 70 to this guy, and I have another Dark Claw live and a Tool Scrapper live. So what I'm thinking is I can hit you for 70 now, and then if I hit the Tool Scrapper and the Dark Claw, I can just knock you out next turn, and that's 2 more, and that'll be 2 more prizes. I'll go down to 1 prize left, and then all I have to deal with is with a very damaged Darkrai. So let's see how this plays out. I do hit a Tool Scrapper, so I'm gonna just use that now, and that'll be good. I'll be able to just flat out hit it for 90, and now even if he puts another Eviolite on it, I'll just be able to take 2, or I'll just be able to, maybe if I draw a Dark Claw, I'll just be able to knock it out, and that'll be great. But let's see how he responds. He goes with the Crushing Hammer, gets the Tails. Big flip for me. And he goes with a double Dark Patch. Big turn. He drew well off this 4. Yeah. So my hand does not look as hot. I guess this really comes back down to me not discarding those, or not, at least not playing that extra Darkrai down. I really should have. I'm really too conservative in this matchup, or really with the deck in general on benching Darkrai's. I don't like to overly bench them, and that got me into some trouble in this spot. So things I can work on, but yeah. So he has all 4 Darkrai's in his hand or field or discard. But yep. So he Ultra Balls the Enhance Hammer away, really just getting rid of it. Gets his Mewtwo out. So He's really just kind of thinning out his deck. He's like, maybe this Mewtwo might do something later, but I'll just keep it in my hand probably. So Steven's really playing this matchup well. No apparent mistakes, at least like big ones. So here we go. Night Spear puts my Darkrai at 150, and my Sableye at 30. Now I really need a Darkrai here. Unfortunately, I don't have it, but I do have a Dark Patch, and I have to go for a random receiver at this point. Let's see what I get, and it's a Juniper. So I'm going to end up having to play out all my hand and just kind of draw into something. Maybe I'll hit something good, maybe I won't. We'll see. I do have a catcher, so I might go for the 2 prizes at this point. I'm not sure. It really just depends on what I can produce. So I do Dark Patch here onto the Sableye, and I'm kind of cringe because I really didn't want to draw that Dark Patch, but I have to do it on the second Sableye. Might as well. I have a bunch of energy switches left. I can maybe get something out of it later. So I do end up using catcher because I know I'm running low on catchers and I need to get use out of it now. And I can at least put the Darkrai to 60 damage. And that will open up some cute Mewtwo plays. And it looks like, yep, there it is. So basically this option is I can go Mewtwo Energy this turn, and then he'll be forced to attack with a 3 energy Darkrai. And I already know he got rid of it. I already got rid of an Eviolite, so I don't really have to worry about that. So as a result, what this will do is, okay, so he knocks out my Darkrai. Now this is kind of foiled if he gets like catcher on my Sableye. That would be pretty bad for me. But at the same time, he would be taking 3 prizes. I could maybe end him to 1 and then I just attack with Mewtwo. And at that point, all I need is energy. And so we'll see how this works out. He sends up the Darkrai, and now if I go next turn, say he doesn't get the catcher. If he knocks out and then does 30 to my Mewtwo or Sableye or whatever, I can go Mewtwo, energy switch, energy for the turn, and I would have 4 energy. That's 7, 1, 20 damage, and that would be a knockout for game. So it's really, there is a possibility that I can knock him out with the Mewtwo. It really just comes down to whether he sees it or not. Now he knows I've used a bunch of catchers, so let's see. How many catchers have I used? 1. There's 1 energy switch. I think that was another catcher. I think I've used 3 catchers so far and 2 energy switches. So the possibility of this happening is very, very live. And he's like, oh, he has like options he can do. But what will he do? This the reason he showed me his hand is this match actually does not matter. We both make it into the top cut round. Like either way, if I win, he'd be 8-1 and I'd be an 8-1. If I lose, I'd be 7-2 and he'd be 9-0, and we both make it in anyways. So not a big pressure situation. He does get the catcher. He chooses for the Mewtwo because he knows the option of me just knocking him out really quickly is there. So he's threatening to win next turn with the Darkrai hit. And he moves the energies off the damaged Darkrai. So now I'm just kind of stuck here with a Sableye that has too much energy and a Mewtwo that's 1 Night Spear away from knocked out. It's a really tough situation for me. What can I do here? Well, it really just comes down to N at this point. So let's see. I have a computer search, I believe, and that'll let me get my Darkrai. Yeah, so here's a computer search. Discard 2, a dark and a random receiver. getting the Darkrai, that's a mistake I made. I probably should have benched one. Just like this game would have played out much differently if I had. I may have been in a much better spot, or at least much safer. I don't know if I would have been in a better spot or not, but at least safer. So I do get 2 energy switches here, and now I'm going to be able to Night Spear, and I have the end, so I'm going to end him to 2. I'm going to end myself to 1, but I was at 0 cards anyway, so I get a new card, and that's going to make it so both of his Darkrai's are at 90 damage. So I'm going to have 90 damage on his Darkrai, 90 damage on his bench Darkrai, and he's not going to have anywhere to go, really. One thing that he could have done was maybe, like, let's see. So, yep, I kind of just look at my card. It's probably nothing. And then I just Night Spear here. 90-30. And let's see what he can do. So he has an Ultra Ball and a Mewtwo, and he draws a Juniper. Big draw from him, from Steven here. So he's flipping over his cards. We both know catcher wins the game, and it's a whiff. So let's see what he can do. He really can't keep his active, though he knows my second Dark Claw is on the field, and he knows I've used my Tool Scrapper. So that Eviolite is actually good here. It'll let his Darkrai survive another turn, which is pretty big. So he has a Crushing Hammer. If he gets heads on it, that'll be good for him. And I am on energy switches, so the most my Mewtwo could even go in for is like 60 damage. Not worth that commitment. But he gets a heads on the Crushing Hammer. So he's counting his Darkrai damage, and he's just figuring out, or rather, he's counting out his Mewtwo damage. He's figuring out which energy he should get rid of. Getting rid of the energy on the active Darkrai is the best scenario. He should know I'm pretty much out of stuff. I'm out 1 card in my hand. So yeah, he gets rid of the active energy. So yeah, now it's what can I do here? What can I do to maybe win this game? Well, luckily I do have Sableye on the field still. So that's pretty big, and it just comes down to what he can do. So he Ultra Balls away a couple supporters and gets the Sableye. Depending on what I have in my hand, I don't remember, but I think it's an energy. I'll just be able to junk hunt for, a energy switch or maybe a dark patch or something, and then I'll maybe just go for energy switch or dark patch, and then really just go for a catcher knockout. Depends what I have. So I have an energy card and I have an N, so I'm ending him back down to 2. I knew he had something. I tried to ignore when he was revealing his hand to me, because that's not fair. I shouldn't know what was in his hand. And this is really just a fun game anyways. So here we go. N for 1 on me, N for 2 on him. And let's see what he gets. And what I get. So 2 cards. He gets a dark and a catcher, and I just know I'm dead. It doesn't even matter what I do from here. I can't win. And yep. So Steven Varesko goes undefeated at 9-0 at Virginia Regionals, and I'm squeaking into the top cut at 7-2. Not really a squeak. There were 6-3s that made it, but yep. So we both made it, and I drew an N off my N. How very typical, but I would have been able to get a catcher and a dark patch, which would have secured my victory. But wow, he was gonna just draw a Bianca off the top anyways. So anyways, congratulations, Steven, and we'll see you guys in the top 32.